Welcome to 40 Below Zero, an international podcast about life with invisible illnesses, hosted by two guys living with multiple sclerosis. Coming to you from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, I'm your co-host Nix, and with me on this ride is Terry, a Londoner who calls Ontario home. We're so happy you're here with us as we continue to try and normalize a life that is anything but. So let's get into it. Welcome back, Warriors, to another new year. So glad everybody's back. Oh my God, Terry, what's it been, like 2 months?
What's up, buddy? Yeah, man, it's been too long, man.
Holy smokes, dude.
I feel like it set me back.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can't do the 2 months, man.
it was the week before Thanksgiving.
Your Thanksgiving,
My
right?
Thanksgiving, right,
Thank
right.
God. Yeah,
um,
man. So much has happened through the
oh,
holidays, and I don't mean in a good or a bad way. Just so much has happened.
yeah, it's been crazy. A lot of changes. Most recently, let's start with the most obvious thing. Oh my goodness. I'm still recovering from my last flare up. I just got out of the hospital last Thursday, so it's been a week. No, what's today? Today's Tuesday, so it hadn't even been a week.
Yeah, no. Are
Um,
you still on the script, prednisone?
yeah, yeah. I think that's what it is. It's some steroid, but yeah. Um, uh, Luckily, I well, I listened to Kit, which
Okay,
I should always do when it comes,
good
especially when it
job.
comes to uh, the diagnosis, because she notices stuff before I do.
Yeah,
And she, we were talking about it, and she was like, I think it's time. My left eye was pretty impacted, like my vision was kind of gone, more so than normal. My right leg from the hip down to my foot felt like it weighed like 400 pounds. It was
okay.
all felt swollen and everything. I just couldn't even walk right. Um, so I went to the hospital, and luckily I got it. I think in enough early enough where they didn't feel the need to keep me. So they hung one of those bags full of steroids for 500 milliliters, and then once I took that on board, they sent me home with a script for, like, I don't know, one of those step down things. It's like 50 some odd pills. Um, I feel like I could pick up a car.
Bro, do you know why it's 50 odd whatever pills?
No.
Because first of all, I know the script you went on. Everybody goes through the same script,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe you were taking 1,000 a day.
Yeah, 1,000 a day.
So here's the thing: the pills that you were taking don't come more than 50. What's the measurement? I don't want your
No, you're
nurse to
right.
hate me.
Milligrams. Yeah, it's the
Milligrams,
same.
okay.
Yep.
So each pill come 50 milligrams, and they're giving you 1,000. So you're taking 500 in the morning, which
Yeah.
is basically 10, and then
Yep.
10 at night.
Pretty much.
It's
Pretty much.
crazy, man. And the reason why they gave it to you IV is just to start you off.
Yep.
And they say that's the easiest on your system.
Now, honestly, they wanted to keep me. The attending physician was like, okay, this is your normal course. You're in the middle of a flare up. You know, what do you normally do? I see in your chart that we keep you for a week. And I was like, yeah. And I was just getting into the mindset of like, okay, I'm trapped for a week. Nothing I can do. I'm just got to get my mind to the point where, because it's just, I mean, first of all, hospitals, who wants to be in a hospital, right? But the pace of every 24 hours, it's like you wake up, you have breakfast, then there's some testing, then there's like 4 or 5 doctors that come in, then there's lunch, then they hang the bag, then there's nothing for the next whole day. Like, I'm literally doing nothing, just taking up a hospital bed. I mean, I know I need it. I know I'm sick, but you're like me. You wouldn't think you were sick or needed to be there either. You know what I mean? So
Bro, flare up or relapse. Like you say flare up, right?
yeah,
I feel like you're going through a flare up, but it's not for me to say.
I would say flare up because I don't know. I maybe the flare up takes you out of remission, I guess. So one is the other. So you're not, you know,
I don't know.
you're
A
no longer
relapse,
in you're relapsing because of the flare up. And luckily, so far, knock on wood, it just seems that I'm not going to suffer anything more than I already have, which is, ultimately what you want. You don't want to be I mean, I'm sure I'm suffering a little bit, but I have
So
to wait for the
welcome back,
steroids. Yeah.
everybody. Let's talk about this prednisone for a second.
Now
Yo,
that we've started off on this happy note,
how's your taste buds?
horrible. Everything tastes horrible.
I didn't now I don't eat burgers and stuff. Well, much. But when I was on prednisone once, I remember getting a McChicken meal from
Hmm.
McDonald's. And I remember there was not enough ketchup on this sandwich. Like there was not enough. And I had to keep putting sauce, because the sauce wasn't doing it for me. So
Yeah.
I realized it was my taste buds and food sucked.
Greasy, cheesy food. Like I can't eat pizza. I can't eat chicken quesadillas. There's just so many things I can't eat when I'm on prednisone. It just tastes so bad.
Dude, I'm sorry, bro. Just go through it. Because after your pills are done, I think it carries on for another 2 weeks
Yeah, it's in
or
there.
something like that. So if you're gonna get irritated at somebody, bro, give me a call. Yell at me all you want.
But I will say one of the things that worked out in my favor was the fact, and this is horrible, that the other hospital that's close to me had two minor fires like a week before I went to the hospital I ended up in. And it was so crowded in the hospital, like way more than normal. In my county, they've closed two hospitals, and this one had fire incidents. So the last hospital, the one that I ended up in, it had everybody. It took me 6 hours to get through the waiting room just to be seen in the ER.
And you were alone, eh?
Well, I'm purposely alone when I go. There's no need for anyone to sit in the waiting room with me until I get a room. So once I get admitted or once we figure out what's going on, then I message Kid and say, okay, come on up. But it's just not worth it anymore. You know, I mean, I very believe me, I very much appreciate when anybody wants to hang out in the hospital with me, but it's just not necessary.
I hear you,
Um,
man.
I do a lot of meditation. Like I try to do like a lot of calming stuff, and you know, just try to make it through. Because you can't do it. You can't fight it. It doesn't go on your page. Like when you're in there, you're just at the mercy of the whole system.
I hear you, man.
So then I have my appointment with my neurologist later this month, and I'm probably
Oh, me
gonna.
too. Mine's coming up.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Yeah, my your Ocrevus should be coming up too, right?
My neurologist first next Friday.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm the reverse. I have Ocrevus on the 17th, and then I see my neurologist.
cool.
So we'll
Cool.
probably get an update. He'll probably send me for the. It's been a few years before I did the full MRI, top to bottom. So
Okay.
I'm sure now that I've just gotten out of the hospital, he's going to order the whole thing, especially since my leg was the symptom I was complaining about. So,
I just heard someone tell me that who is it? Who was it? Someone told me their neurologist is no longer going to give them any MRIs if they have no new lesions from the last MRI and if they're on Ocrevus. Ocrevus. Does that make sense?
I think so. Um, does it hurt to have more testing? No, but it's everybody's different. Every doctor, you know what I mean? So if the doctor,
Exactly.
if you're going consistently, if you're on the same medication and you're consistently getting no new lesions, no enhancements, personally, I don't think there's a reason. Um, but it's, I would go. I go all the time. I've always gone, even without any problems. It doesn't hurt. Just a little
This is something
inconvenient.
I just heard. Like, I'm like, what? Nah.
Yeah.
My
Yeah, you can.
neurologist is going to book an MRI for sure.
Yeah, they can do it. And honestly, I think they should because, like I said, it's not painful testing. It's just inconvenient. And
Yeah.
what's the worst happens? You figure out that you're still where you were. I mean, that's kind of the goal, isn't it?
So you have an MRI scheduled already?
I will soon. I
You will.
know because I
Okay.
know him. He's gonna say you were in. Let's get it checked out, which I'm good with.
And a topic you and I need to talk about is medication, no medication. Remember the
Mm-hmm.
whole vaccine through COVID? People
Mm-hmm.
were shaming people taking the vaccine.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the same thing with DMTs, man. I feel like
Sometimes.
when I tell someone I'm on Ocrevus, they're like, ooh, and how's that working for you?
Well, you have a very unique journey with DMTs because when you and I met, you weren't on any. Like
Yeah.
you had taken that one chemo drug before I met you, and now you're on Ocrevus. But there was a gap. There was years, right?
Yeah.
So tell
13
me
years,
about
man.
that. What was your experience?
Bro, one of the reels I put out, you saying that you're still getting I forget how you said it. You're still getting flare ups, even though you've been on Ocrevus for a while. So
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, so you think Ocrevus is working? And you said, well, if I wasn't an Ocrevus, I think I'd be getting a lot more.
Hmm.
So that's the way you saw it. And I'm like, man, that's pretty cool the way you see it because, a lot of people would see it the other way too,
Hmm.
but you're seeing it positively. Um, I was on Avanex, I was on Rebiff before I did the chemo, which you remembered. Thanks for remembering. That's pretty
Yep.
cool. um, yeah, so I was on drugs and then I took the chemo and then I gave up with the system and I stopped taking everything.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm in a chair now. And dude, I'm trying to get myself out of the chair now. And I don't want to talk about it publicly because people are going to keep asking me, how you doing? How you doing? I've been working the last 3 weeks to a month. I've been working hard on trying to walk. I've been working on my muscles. I have a guy who tested my muscles and all my muscles are working. All my muscles are working. So it's nerve damage. Is that what is
Hmm.
stopping me from walking? So also, did I forget how to use the nerves? So I'm trying to spark up the nerves now. This is
Well, well, with the demyelination, that is the crux of the whole disease, the
Mhm.
signal's just not getting through. So you have to, and we've had neurologists on. You have to, and PTs on. Remember,
Yeah,
um, you have to continue to push to the degree that you can because your brain literally forms new neuron connections to the best of its ability. It kind of goes around the block. So you just got to keep doing it. I'm not, and I say that with the caveat that everybody's different, but it doesn't hurt. And the pain that you would inevitably feel from pushing through is just really letting you know where your limit is right now. Because just like with any exercise, and you with your trainer and all, Happy New Year, your trainer as well,
Mhm.
because I know he's a listener. Um, he pushes you for a reason because he knows that if you push to that level, the pain might not be there the next time you push to that level. So that's why he does it. So yeah, I think you're in. I think I'm proud of you for retraining your brain. You know,
Thanks, bro.
not
You know,
easy.
sometimes I feel like I don't want to get negative now, but sometimes during it, I'm like, why am I suffering? It's not doing anything. Why am I suffering? Let me at least enjoy the last 20 years or 15 years.
Yeah,
But again, just like you not being an archivist, it could be a lot worse if I don't keep working on it.
and that's really what scares me is that sure, could I stop taking the drugs? Sure, absolutely. But I'm too afraid that since I've been on them my entire ride, that I could be in a way worse situation. And even if it gets worse, I mean, listen, you and I have talked to so many people that have so many different paths down this road. And that's the
Mhm.
point of the show. And they all just do what works for them and they're getting the results that they were looking for. So we've talked to people who do no DMTs, we've talked to stem cells, like we've talked to everybody. And you got to be you got to do something. And even if doing nothing is the something you choose, you
Dude,
know.
to each their own.
Mhm.
We've said this all the time over and over again. Nobody should shame anybody for what
Nope.
they've decided to do.
I feel like our purpose here is just to share experiences and share information and let people make up their own minds. Um, that's all.
Dude, that's exactly what it is. I'm going to share some stuff. I know people who are going to say, "What? Terry, what are you doing?"
Hmm.
But it's like, dude, please, please, let me just do what I got to do. It might be the wrong path. Let me figure it out on my own. I'm going to go see my neurologist coming up. I have some questions for him. I'm considering going on some drugs that I've heard. And no, I'm not just going to take it, but I'm considering it, man. If
Sure.
it's going to relieve the pain in my feet, dude, it might be worth it. It might be worth it. Like it really
Absolutely.
like I don't know what the side effects are, but my lower back, man, I need to dude, the strength in my body is amazing, but my lower back keeps locking up. It keeps stiffening up.
Makes
I need
sense.
that shit to relax.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to go on baclofen that everyone keeps saying that's what helps and stuff like that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying I'm open to the idea of let's alleviate that
And that's
that
really all it is.
stiffness.
As long as you're open to the idea, as long as you don't shut anything out, if you listen to everything, you take it all into consideration,
Hmm.
and you just do what you think is the best. I mean, because let's be honest, ultimately, all we're doing is slowing the inevitable, right?
Yeah,
At this
exactly.
point in the game, I know
Depends on who you talk to.
there's a whole yeah, exactly. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the horizon. We have talked to people who have, quote unquote miracle cures, that have seemed to be working. Um,
Awesome.
but yeah, we're just doing what we can, right?
Yeah.
You go into climbing or anything over there? Our break here?
No, no, I
No,
did
no
not.
climbing. Too cold.
No, it's indoors, but no, they took a break.
Oh, did
Took a
they?
break. Yeah, yeah. So everyone seemed to have taken a break during December.
That
You
makes
know,
sense.
yeah. I went to, I drove an hour and a half to visit my mom.
Uh huh. Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right. I met
yeah.
mom.
Yes, you did. That's right. We called you. She's like, Teddy, we need to call Nick. I'm like, what's the deal? She's like, I want to talk to Nick. I'm
He
like,
did too.
relax. And then she's like, I want to be on the show. I'm like, maybe we'll bring Nick's mom, my mom together, and they can talk about how I got big mood disorders. Yeah, man. So I went through something. I don't want to talk about it now, but I
Okay.
went through something up and down, up and down. My
Really?
mental being. I'm
Yeah.
good now. I really
Okay.
am. I had the support. Uh, I remember the mindset I was in. So we will talk about that. Not now.
Okay.
It's a whole episode on that.
Teasing ahead. I like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we got a nice set of few people who want to come on the show. So
That's the exciting part. Have they been on before, or these repeats
yeah,
or
a
new
few
people?
people want to repeat on, and there's a few
Okay.
people who have called us out and said, I need to be on your show. I'm like, okay. So
I'm excited for it.
yeah, me too, man. Me too.
Oh, let's
I'm
see.
excited for
Season
season
four. Oh
four.
my God, dude, season
Six.
four. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man.
3 years. Season four. I was
Three years.
those bro, those reels you were putting up. Some of those were some gems. I'm pretty sure I'm a meme somewhere on the internet now.
I don't know. It was yeah, I really enjoyed. Dude, watching everything again triggered so much.
I know.
I'm like,
I know.
oh, I said that?
There's there's one that you clipped. It was I don't know what the heck we were talking about. I think we were talking about like personality or identity or something, and I was like, so it's like you don't have to define anything more than your name. Like my name's Nick and I just like Nick things. Dude, that one got over 3,000 plays. I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was cool. There was
somebody
ones that I didn't imagine, and I'm like, why are they really liking this one?
I
Yeah,
knew
man.
immediately. I'm like, oh, somebody stitched that.
Dude, I want to thank everybody who, because remember, I got approval from all these people. Remember,
Yes.
there's a lot of people we recorded shows with just audio, and then
Hmm.
I ended up putting a video of them up there. So all of the people that wanted us and people who didn't, it's okay. They're going to come back on the show anyway.
Good.
But I wanted to thank everyone for allowing us to put those video reels up. It was fun.
Yeah.
It kept
That was
me
a lot of fun.
entertained during the break.
Me too, honestly. I would get your alerts and sometimes I'm like, brother, that's like 5 today. Like, oh my goodness, but
It was all scheduled,
I know.
all scheduled. I promise you. I wasn't sitting there like, now, now, and now. No, all scheduled. I think 4 to 5 a day. Yes. And potential sponsors, by the way. We'll talk about that later.
I know. That's
So,
huge.
mhm.
That is huge. Man, I can't wait to see where this year takes us because we just talked to so many unbelievable people. Like we had I wish I would remember everybody's name, but we talked to Dr. Wagner, hooked us up with the woman who ran the wheelchair, Miss Wheelchair USA. Like
Yeah, Lowry, Dr. Lowry.
Larry, thank you.
It's okay. Yeah.
We just had so many amazing people.
We
I'm
had
pretty
we Don Marie tripping on air. We had Push.
yeah.
We had a few members of the show Push come on,
Hmm.
cast of the Push.
I hope we get more. I hope they come back and hang out with us.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to go. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping to go back to DC this year again. So maybe I'll do some more content while I'm down there. I was so overwhelmed that I was just kind of like starstruck about the whole thing. But now that I kind of I've been through one, I kind of know. So I'll probably do something while I'm down there if I get the opportunity to go back.
Dude, it's really hard to do content when you're on a trip. It really is for
Yeah.
me too, because it's like, your anxiety is focusing on what you need to do next and
Hmm.
not going crazy on the trip.
Oh, and plus, I'm also, not I'm trying to represent well, you know what I mean? Like I
Hmm.
don't want to come out being like with this big ego. Like it was my first time, so I was trying to like stay in the corner and just try to watch everything and they were really good
Yeah.
about like, no, get up there, say. I'm like, okay.
And 40 Below Zero is getting recognized by National MS Society. And
Yeah.
that is cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
That is
So
cool for
we'll have
sure.
more mental health stuff this year. We'll talk more about that. We'll talk about
Hmm.
dude, we're gonna talk about how we are now 5 years past the pandemic.
Yeah. Wow. Life has
Right.
changed, man, because of that pandemic.
Yeah. So we can talk about that. We can talk
And
about new
this would not have
advancements.
happened if it wasn't for the pandemic.
Very true. It's 100% true. I have to talk to my neurologist. I have to give you an update about. I haven't had the opportunity to talk to him about the Ocrevus shot, which I haven't really heard much about anymore. So I don't know what's up with that. I got to look into that. Honestly, because the holiday came up and I was just like not thinking about it. And honestly, when the weather turns, I'm not surprised that I ended up with a flare up around this time because typically this is the time of year when I end up in the hospital right before or right after the new year. When the weather first takes it dives, like when you get that first really, really cold spell. I mean, what is it today? Let me look. So it's -1 Celsius right now. So it's really cold for me. So it's too cold for me to be outside. I mean, even in the little studio here, it's I could just feel the wind kicking through and that's what really shuts me down. And it's the extreme weather and that's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. It's a reminder of sometimes I'm not in control, no matter how
Yeah.
much I think I am.
So it's -12 here.
Jeez.
And in Winnipeg, I told someone, I'm like, it's cold here. It's -12. And they were like, get out of here. That's like spring weather for us. So it depends on where you are in Canada. Yeah. But -1, man,
Mm-hmm.
sweater weather. No, I'm just joking. That's cold. That anything below room temperature for me is cold.
And I went out. So these steroids,
Yeah.
they they give me the idea in my head that, oh, I'm on steroids now. My flare up's over. Let me go shovel the porch off. You know what I mean? Or let me go
Yeah. Yeah.
clear the car off. Which, first of all, I should have a kid take video of me clearing off the van with one hand on the cane and one hand on the,
Yo,
you know,
bro.
the brush.
Yeah.
That's in and of itself, that's funny enough. That was a bad idea. 3 minutes after being out there, I was like, I should not be out here doing this. It's
Yeah,
really
man.
hard to walk.
Yeah. Prednisone isn't a steroid that like makes you stronger. Like,
No,
you know
no.
what I
It
mean?
gives you all this jittery energy, but it doesn't,
Yeah. Yeah. The amount you have, remember, I told you this story. The amount you've taken at
Mhm.
the pharmacist when I was getting my script once, he said, nah, there's no way this is for you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, your doctor's trying to kill you? And I said, what do you mean? He's like, I have to call your doctor.
Yeah.
He came back and he goes, all right, so you got to take 10 in the morning, 10 at night. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. All right, this is the famous story I tell everyone. Didn't you just ask the doctor? Didn't you just tell me this script's going to kill me? And he's like, yeah, well, it seems to be for MS. Yeah,
It kills
that's
everybody but the strong. No. One of my early years, I was hospitalized like 3 times within, I want to say like 8 months. It was very quick.
okay.
All for legitimate flare up relapses, all with new symptoms, all with new lesions. It was like very active at that. And I actually had to get like high level approval to get like my third course of steroids that year because they were like, you're really taking a lot of steroids. Because if you think about it, that's, what was that, 21,000 milliliters of steroids over the course of
Mm-hmm.
8 months. That's a lot.
Was it always done through script like pills? Or
No, it was always IV. This is only the second time they've sent me home with scripts, and I believe it's only because, like I said, the hospital was overcrowded, and they were like, "You're
okay,
not really that sick. Just go home. You're not as
cool.
sick as somebody else who could use the bed," which is fine because now I'm just wound up at home. Kit's loving it. I wake up at like 6 in the morning, like, "Let's go. Time to do everything." can I repaint the house? She's like, it's snowing. I'm like, yeah, yeah, but still.
Awesome, bro. Yo, when you took IV in the past, the steroid IV,
Hmm.
did they come to your home and do it, or did you stay in the hospital?
Hospital.
Okay, so there's two things I've done. There's one where they put the needle in you, you go to the hospital, and then at the end of the day, sometimes they even keep it in,
Hmm.
and then you just go the next day and they plug you in again.
Yep.
Or they've come to my house and done the same thing. They plug you in, then when you're finished, they unplug you, they leave, they come back the next day, plug you in again.
And you know what? Honestly, I think that's the way to do it. Unless I am presenting to the hospital with like extreme slurred speech, like I can't open my eye, like I'm dry, like I can't pick my feet up. Like if I'm just very bad, then yes, keep me. But if I
Mm-hmm.
walk in and I say, "Hey, I'm in an," what, and they say, "What brings you here today?" And I respond with, "I'm having an MS flare up," and they say, "How do you know?" And my eye, my leg. But I can communicate effectively. I can walk sort of with assistance. Um, I wasn't really that. I don't want to say bad, but I mean, I was bad, obviously, but I
I
wasn't.
get you, man. I
Yeah,
get you.
and my pain was up too. That was crazy.
Oh, that sucks, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, pain is the worst, man, because that's you trying to gain that comfortness, but the pain's not allowing you.
Hmm.
It's did they give you a choice to go on prednisone, or were they like, all right, well, we're gonna get you prednisone, are you gonna start it? Or did he say, hey, Nick, do you think you should be on prednisone?
They asked me. I said to them, I have found that it's beneficial to communicate what I have done in the past when I have a similar, type response. And then
Mm-hmm.
I usually say, listen, I'm not here to tell you how to do your job. All I'm going to tell you is what I have done in the past and what has worked. Then you can confirm with my chart and we'll go from there. And that's what they do. So that's what
Cool.
my physician's assistant did. So she was like, "Yep, everything you said lines up. I'm in agreement with it." She ran a couple of quick, squeeze my hand, put, that push me, pull me,
Yeah,
follow the finger. We did all that, and then she was like, "Okay, I agree with. I'm gonna hang it." She said that's when she said, This is what we're gonna do." So
cool.
anytime I don't have to stay in the hospital, I'm very happy.
Of course, man.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody can relate to that.
I found out I have a new handicap.
Okay.
I got myself a pair of glasses.
Ah, very nice. I have my
That's it.
cheaters around here somewhere.
Okay.
Are there is
Cheaters.
an actual script or just readers?
No, yeah, an actual script.
Okay.
So I learned what nearsighted means and farsighted means and all that crap.
Uh-huh. You gonna stop bumping into things now?
And then I found out that I have, and I kept saying the wrong word. I'm probably going to say the wrong word now, which is going to be fine. But my right eye, I have stigmatism.
Okay. That's the right
Is
word.
all right.
If that's
What?
what you have, then yeah.
Yeah. And then I found out that with age, a lot of people get it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I've hit that point too where my doctor, I'm like, because of the MS, my eye hurts. And he goes, well, you're also getting older, Nick. I'm like,
no, it's the MS.
everything is the MS.
I'm not getting older.
I have I believe it is called nystagmus, where
Bro,
my eye goes,
oh no, yeah, that was
it
pre we
wiggles.
had her on the show and I learned that
Hmm.
word.
Yep.
So when that lady said you have whatever word I said, I forgot already.
Stigma.
Stagmus, whatever. I'm like, what? One of my eyes are looking. She's like, no, no, no. And then she explained that the eye goes into an oval
Yeah.
shape.
As per the usual, even though I have secured my internet connection way out here in the studio,
Okay,
there is a storm rolling through. There is a windstorm, and the connections gets a little wonky. So
let's
you'll see the
see.
lights dim every now and again.
Oh no, we have bad winter storm happening right now.
Yeah, so we're gonna have some old friends back this year, meet some new faces, talk some new things, new adventures.
Yeah, man. So we have returning guests. We have new guests. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. You know what I'm not excited for? The whole scheduling.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean like
It,
reaching out to people, making sure
yeah.
they're
Yeah. And then cancellations and us
yeah.
canceling on them,
That's life, bro.
just being unpredictable. Yeah.
Listen, if you hang out with anybody who has any chronic illness, invisible or not, there's gonna be some hiccups in your schedule. You just gotta get over that. People are gonna cancel some things. What else did we do over the weekend? Whatever, over the break. Holidays good. I mean, I know you went to see mom. Did you do anything for New Year's? Do you celebrate New Year's?
No, I watched Squid Games.
Did you? I think we watched Wicked.
Okay.
I think that was the. It was not my thing, but
Okay.
it was fine. I know everybody's raving about it, but
I think I got Apple TV.
you did.
So there's some shows on Apple TV. Yeah. I
It's the
think it
hot
was,
stuff.
yeah, whatever, man. Yo, I got to recollect my thoughts during the two
Yeah.
months. I got to like take a breather, practice on some of my CBT,
Oh, good.
you
Good.
know? Yeah.
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 We had up at Paris study. We had we had a couple of practice. People come and go. The practitioners, they don't stick around forever. They don't work for us. They work with us. So
Okay.
they're independent contractors who kind of go wherever. So we're lucky to have them for as long as we do. And the gentleman who does the sound bath guy I've been teasing forever, he's getting so busy that I can't even nail him down for anything now. But he had to he kind of stepped away from hosting or facilitating the drum circles.
Okay.
So now I took over that. So now once a month I host a drum circle. Um, it's pretty cool. It's all ages, all experience levels. So we got kids to grandparents, and we just have a fun time playing different percussion instruments for about an hour. Um, I have a
Dude,
lot of
I
fun with it.
I really want to hear more about this Paris study one day.
We can do a whole, we can do a whole episode on that. Is a whole part of my life that we have never talked about on this show. And if I'm going to give it a plug, so anybody who wants to get a little sneak peek of what it's all about, go to parastudy.org, Para study, parastudy.org, and you can see what it's all about. It's such a big part of who I am. Well, who the whole family is really, me, Kit, and John, and what and it's just how we move through this life. It's pretty awesome. It's a fantastic building full of just amazing people who some of them are psychic, some of them are clairvoyant, some of them have this powerful intuition. There's
That's really cool, man.
Western meditation. There's just so much amazing stuff for the mind, body, and soul up there. It's great. I love being up there. So yeah, we'll do a couple. We could do a couple. I could go live up there. I could do an episode from up there.
That'd be really cool, man. Yo,
Yeah.
if I were to ever visit you, it's because I want to go check that out.
Well, you're certainly welcome.
Yeah.
However, you're going to have to be carried into the building. It is
Oh
100%
yeah,
not accessible.
we talked about this. Yeah, that's
Uh, I
okay. I'll
I
get
barely
carried.
make it in my canes.
It's okay. Somebody's carrying me.
The building was built in 1870.
Yeah.
It's a three-story Victorian mansion, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of constantly renovating it. I mean, let's be honest. I don't do much work. I just kind of sit around and give my opinion, and they all tell me thanks, and then they go do whatever they want anyway because
Yeah.
I can't with the work that they're doing. I can't do. I mean,
Yeah.
they're repainting, they're taking out walls, like it's a whole reno that we're doing. So,
Yeah.
but it's a really cool place, and I cannot wait to talk about it a lot, and just the benefits that I've gotten from it, just from thinking about the whole picture of my life and how MS fits into that component and what I learned from it and how I've retrained my brain and the things that I use now that I never used before, like like deep meditation, deep vibrational healing stuff. It's just it's so powerful, and I'm so glad that like the hospitals are getting on board with it now because now you can have like Reiki while you're getting other therapies. They do all sorts of cool stuff now. So
That's cool. That's cool.
I can't
That's
wait
cool
to
that the
talk about it.
hospital's open to that.
Hmm.
That's really cool.
Especially especially oncology cancer wards are now really
Okay.
big on like sound, especially vibrational stuff. The sound, and that's why the guy Michael is so busy now because he goes to hospitals now and does the singing bowls and like you know what I'm talking about because
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, give me his number. I'll reach out to him. I'll
yeah,
make him
you
come on.
probably have a better idea, better luck than I do. I see him once a month now. I used to see him like every 6 days. He's
Yeah.
just, I mean, good for him. It's his business. That's what he does. So,
Yeah. I've
and
seen
he's,
him around. I've seen him on Instagram.
mhm. He's really helpful. He really is. People, it's just an amazing experience. So yeah, we can talk about that. We can talk about the retreats that we're doing. We're talking about the community that Kit and I are starting to build up there. It's just an amazing
Cool.
place. So
Cool. Cool.
so
Cool.
thanks for the plug. Let me plug it.
Yeah. No, no, of course, man.
Crossover episode.
I'd be worried to actually go there now that you say it's an ancient building.
Hmm.
Because what if I want to get the hell out of there?
Well, if you want to get out of there quick, then we'll help you out the door. No problem.
As long as you guys don't throw me out the window.
No, no. So we can do a virtual tour.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. That'd be so cool.
Yep. We can do a whole episode. We
Nice.
have, just as another little teaser, we have one of the oldest privately held libraries on spiritualism and occultism. So, I mean, I'm
Okay.
sure there's older ones, but we have a full, there's so many books. There has to be, I think our catalog is close to 3,000 titles. There's a
That
lot of books.
library is haunted as hell, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we like to say occupied. I don't know about haunted. There's
Say
there's
that again. You cut out
oc-
right when
occupied,
occupied.
occupied, not haunted.
Occupied.
Hmm.
I just think of the Ghostbusters when it comes to the library scene. That's so cool, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to show it off. So yeah, anybody wants to check it out, that's where you can find it.
Parastudy.org.
.org. Yep,
Sweet.
all one word. Yeah, well, you can link it.
I will.
So I'm auditioning for my NPR gig.
What does NPR stand for?
National Public Radio,
Oh, okay.
but it's the like, welcome to the news hour. Today we'll be talking about the color beige. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like that kind of
Dude,
stuff.
I'm not surprised. I'm not like, really? Like,
Yeah.
I remember the
It,
first day I met you. I'm like, yo, dude, what's up with your mic? And why do you sound like that?
oh, that was the other thing. I looked back on some of those reels and I was like, wow, look at that microphone. Wow, look at that background. That's when we used to change studios every year because I
Dude,
kept moving locations.
that's right. I remember that. Yo,
Started
why
out.
some of my reels, my voice is just so distorted. I'm like, dude, where's my co-host to say, bro, turn down the gain? Like
That
now
was,
I have it lowered and I just increase it. Now I know how to, I know how to play with shit.
yeah, it was like the Wild West back then. We just went for it, dude.
It was bad.
We-
Yeah, man.
oh, here's something I wanted to ask, and this is way off topic.
Go for it.
Has your post office started working again? You guys, you guys still on strike?
It's still on strike, but
Get out of here.
they I don't know the exact terms and stuff, but the postal workers um, are forced to work.
Mm,
They're forced to
I got
work
it.
while the strike's going on. It's still going on. I heard it ain't dying anytime soon. It's the strike is still gonna go. It's still strong.
Wow.
And yeah,
Wow. Well, see, that was the thing. That's how it was when I was in law enforcement. We were not part of, there's an organization known as the FOP, or the Fraternal Order of Police. It's like the biggest police union in the country. There's a couple others, but that's the big one.
mhm.
And they do the union representation for the officers. I was, because of where I worked, we had our own union. And if we were to ever go on strike, we would do a very similar kind of strike. You could only strike when, and even the nurses did it at one of the facilities we were responsible for. You're only allowed to be on the picket line when you're not on shift. So you could only
Okay,
act, so the department still run, it still function, but you could stand on a picket line, which to me doesn't make any sense because the point of a strike is to shut down work, you know? So to me, it was like we could strike, but what was the point? Because everything's still getting done. It's just like symbolic. So,
yeah, I don't get it either.
but yeah, I don't understand it, but it's been so long since I've even had to worry about any of that.
Is
So,
the picket line more for an image awareness? Like
well,
really, what's
when you have to continue to function like your post office or like
yeah,
my department, then yeah, it's kind of just like, hey, let's just bring attention to our plight. But the real power in a strike is the stopping of work. That's what it's meant to do.
yeah,
So it's supposed to bring down the profitability of the company until, issues are addressed. So we never actually did it because we never thought it would do anything. We just figured it was better talking than to, stomp our feet.
Yeah.
But that's, it's like I said, it's been like 12 years since I've been in a union. So
When was the last day you worked? How many years has that been?
January 10th, 2014, 2:35 in the afternoon.
Just over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Not just over, but over 10 years now.
My last shift was October 3rd, 2013,
Okay.
because I was in the hospital for Kit's birthday, and the guys in my fire company, they were really great. They threw her a birthday party, gave her a cake and everything while I was sitting in the hospital. Um, that was my last shift, but my last day was January 10th, 2014.
Okay.
That was a tough day because it was real.
January 10th was your last
Hmm.
day? I thought you said June 10th.
January.
Oh,
My,
so
my my last shift was October.
oh yeah, okay.
My diagnosis, because I had time. I had short-term disability.
Yeah.
So my diagnosis was July 4th. So I was out for the summer. Then I tried to go back. I tried to rush back, which I shouldn't have done because I was like, oh, I feel great. Let me go back. And then I had another one right away. And then that
Yeah.
was the one that took me out. So, yeah, a little
So
over
your
10 years.
your rebirth day is in July.
That's it. That's it. And then it took me, and then got really dark, got really bright, and here we are. So,
Feel like I lived a whole life with MS.
doesn't it?
Like I feel like my life started with MS. Just a whole journey till now.
Well, it is. But shit, we're still rediscovering
I
things.
can't remember my life before MS. And I got MS in my late 20s, which is I'm already developed as a person.
Yeah.
But I feel like my life started when I got MS and I started developing from then mentally, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. Um, I so having gigantic holes in my memory, people will show me pictures and I will just look at them and go, I don't even know who that guy is. And they're like, oh, that's when we did the whatever. And I'm like, I have no memory of that. And so the old me, the before me, is just somebody in pictures. Don't even look at the
Wow.
world the same way anymore. Don't even approach anything. It's totally different.
Exactly what you said. I don't look at the world the same as I used to. Same as what you said. Yeah.
You can't. And we've talked about that a bunch. And
Yeah.
a bunch of our guests have said that too, is you just have to do it. You have to just you cannot hold on to who you were because it's gone. Even if we were to cure it, quote unquote, even if we were to cure it and we were able to reverse every single thing, I still wouldn't be the same guy,
Yeah. No, no, we can't.
you know?
We can't be the same person after
Mm-mm.
this.
I needed the time off. I always need the time off, but I miss this. I'm glad we're back. I'm glad everybody else is back. I'm glad we're starting again. I feel energized, and not only because of the steroids. So thanks for sticking around. We'll see you next week. We'll
Yeah,
talk
man.
soon, brother.
Can't wait, man. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. So check us out at 40belowzero.com. That's 4 letter T below zero.com. Or feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is info at 40belowzero.com. Our personal Instagram account are for Nix, it's Nix underscore V713. Or for Terry, it's what's underscore MS. Awesome. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. We'll talk soon.